that.
I like that groove, though.
Play this.
I guess it's scary. That stick with that groove.
Okay.
like that groove.
Raise your phone volume all the way up and then down 2 clicks.
Okay. 1, 2.
Let me hear it play just so I can get the right level. All right, that's good.
Rob, is your volume off on your ringer too?
It's off. I'm off.
Everyone make sure their ringers are off.
Yes.
You don't mess with any
Oh, yeah.
settings, 'cause we have it already up.
Okay.
One little
You're
thing.
playing host. Remember. This is
Yeah, I'm
yours.
playing host. This is great.
Phone's
You're not
now-
sure what you're doing, are you?
No.
Oh, okay. You can let one of us. If you want us to do it, we can do it. It's up to you, real quick.
We do the.
Count it back.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute your microphones right now.
Right.
So when he cues the music, I'm gonna let it play for about 10 seconds. Then I'll unmute the mics. I'll cue you all, and then you can start.
There we go.
Okay.
Sound good?
Thank you, Christian.
No problem. All
Okay,
right.
so one second. So when you stole my shorts, guys. Mm-hmm. Who says?
Hang on to your shorts, guys.
I
You stole my
combined two of
shorts,
them.
Really?
Combine them. Stole my shorts.
You stole my shorts.
You are. Remember something. You are the anchor on this.
I know I'm the anchor, but it's the first time being like in things.
Okay.
But do they like? How do they introduce their?
Well, they can do a round table. You can introduce us however you want to do it. I mean,
What do
if
they
you
say?
look, we can all say hi, and then Sean and I can go into cheesy announcer mode and like going, "Welcome to the debut of the new podcast. You stole my shorts, and now the man who is bringing it to you whenever he can, Andrew Melodrama Ruiz." Yeah, maybe not.
And the voice of God.
And the voice of God would be like, I can't do Morgan Freeman's.
Yeah. Right. That's
Yeah, exactly.
And who can do more?
Really, exactly.
Morgan Freeman's wife.
Mrs. Freeman. You know, I was heading there, but you got to that fruit first.
There you go. Yes.
That's a little dirty love. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, stand. Hello there.
Good
We're
day.
here. You're there.
Welcome to the new podcast with DJ Melodrama. This is You Stole My Song, and you got to tell everybody how you came up with the title of this.
Just by DJing professionally for, I don't want to say how many years, but for a very long time, and I don't have the radio voice that
come on,
Sean
own
and
it,
Rob
own it.
have. I'm not going to own it. I look better than what I really am. Definitely in my 40s somewhere, I guess. Maybe late 30s, in bad shape. But other than that, hi, I'm Andrew. I'm Melodrama. This is...
Sean Carroll, I run Alt Rock Radio over at 90.5 The Night on Friday nights and all the time at altrockradio.com. And next to me,
Rob Akampora, new to the podcast world, the A Game with Rob Akampora, coming back probably in about a week back here at the Asbury Studios.
Yeah, and so we also are part of a contingent, a group of DJs.
column.
Yes.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
a column.
A
column.
Contingent.
column of
Yes.
DJs that have been working in venues and radio and the interwebs and God only knows what else we've all done. Radios,
Speak for yourself.
just
Yeah.
everything since
We've done a lot, yeah.
since basically in its inception, and we run Halo parties, which are at the St. and Asbury Park.
One of which is this Friday.
Which is this Friday.
Right.
We also do, Sean does the Melody Bar reunions in New
Well, I
Brunswick.
participate in the Melody Bar.
Yes. And we also do a different version of that in Asbury Park. And then Rob is also part of, I guess you would say, the group. He is the controller?
I don't know if I go that far.
The
but,
controller, he
take-
redirects us.
The modulator.
The modulator, yes. He's the modulator.
God.
He's the John Cleese.
He's the selector.
The selector.
The
I am the
selector.
selector.
Does that mean I got to do the cheese bit now? Do you have any cheese? No.
Yes. So basically, we're going to be talking about everything from alternative DJ music, lifestyle, well, not lifestyle, but what we do, what goes on in our
I
freaky
didn't even
little
know it was
brains.
a lifestyle.
Well, it is. Yeah, think about it. Because
guess
how
I
many
chose
days
it.
do you give up, and how many hours do you give up doing this just to make other people dance and have fun?
Truth is, your lifestyle chooses you.
Well, there's
Oh wow, we just went there. Forgot my peace sign. I'm sorry.
Cheers.
Cheers. Your turn, Sean.
Hi. Yeah, Drew had this great concept for a podcast and said, come on along. And I said, okay, well, I can open up my mouth and be as surprised as anybody else is by what comes out.
Well, to sum it all up, you got three guys here who go back several decades through alternative music. We all have the connection of one of the premier alternative rock stations from the 80s and the 90s. That was FM 106.3 WHDG.
Long may it wave.
Long may it wave. As a matter of fact, we were just talking about this recently. This summer will mark 20 years that it's been gone.
That's right.
20 years. I can't believe the time has gone that fast.
So it still existed longer than it's been gone, at least.
Yes, we got that going.
Oh yes, more so than the other gigs.
That's
like the melody
true.
thing. It's
Right,
been
yeah.
closed longer than it's been open. I think at this point.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about it. Between the three of us, that's that's about 20 years of HTG experience right here.
It's stuff.
In one way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff.
Yeah.
The thing basically the whole concept is going back to the concept.
Yeah.
Regarding
It's
that
stuff, is what.
But
it's stuff. We're just going back to talk about
we're
stuff.
gonna
But
talk about stuff.
all this lends credence to defend what you want to talk about, which is mainly about alternative music in clubs, and more on some
And
of
the-
the,
and the venues
music,
and-
alternative music today.
Right. It's
Yeah.
because there's it's a small niche. It's a great niche, and the music in that niche is just it runs like everywhere. You go from like television and CBGB's kind of punk mentality all the way to. I'll push it to Underworld because New Underworld's coming out and they're touring this spring
Right, of
and
course,
summer.
yeah.
So
Sure.
it literally runs everything in between that: industrial goth, post-punk, Manchester new wave, grunge.
And everybody's licensing it for commercials.
Yeah,
direct-
and-
that's probably the most amazing thing when all of a sudden here's us watching on TV and we can watch a car commercial and see the band James, Born of Frustration, selling a Cadillac. It's wild.
But here's the other end. You go into a food store, supermarket, gas station, you're hearing the stuff that you used to dance to in a bar or a venue. And you're like, why am I hearing Sisters of Mercy at a supermarket?
I heard who did I hear? Echo and the Bunnymen recently.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like, where am I? And I'm like, I'm in the ShopRite. I'm like, what just happened? It's like-
I've seen that comments are like, why do we get the supermarket report online? People like because we're amazed that there is this audience that has now been recognized, that they're like, okay, well, people will actually buy things if I play this and I'm
Oh yeah, I'll
in
dance
my
up
store.
and down any aisle in any store,
that's
like
right.
Target or whatever. I'll dance.
I saw you
Mode's
near the
playing.
eggplants, dude. You don't want to have that happen again. Low hanging fruit, just
they
reached out and
out
grabbed
front,
it.
Yeah, I need to mind my P's and Q's with you too. I forget these things.
We're radio guys. What do you want from us?
It's been a while. Also, going back to it is the idea of that there will be venues that I will mention. So there'll be venues that I don't mention only because I forgot them.
That's
So,
okay.
like, speaking of, it's
Because
like
we want to mention all the venues.
yeah, it's Melody, Roxy, Patrick's, Court Tavern, in Tavern. Oh my
Tavern.
God, I said it horribly. In New Brunswick, I think maybe there's a couple other ones. Ellenwood has a couple things. Then there's the Loop in Passaic, Pipeline in Newark or
Right.
/ Bloomfield.
Right.
Then you have Aldo's in Lyndhurst. There was Green Parrot down here at the shore. We
Up
are
in Jersey
presently at
City.
the
Also in Jersey City.
FM closed, but they just closed, and I forgot the name of the new place. It's in.
You mentioned Aldo's. I actually saw that recently on Facebook. They're doing an Aldo's reunion.
It was just
there's-
this past Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, it just happened. Okay.
Ted and
Ted Wrigley was doing it,
Ted
yeah.
and everyone like
Any
that.
word
It's
how
like-
they did with that? By any chance?
No, it's like I want to, like I said, I'm trying to get.
hope it was good.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to pull all the DJs so I can get all those other DJs.
Right.
Like just try to get all the DJs that have done this in all their venues because I think every venue and every person that has done it differently. Like for example, New Brunswick, for example.
Yeah.
I think when you did New Brunswick, for the exception of the Roxy, it was more guitar, alt, dance music. But
Yeah.
then you go to like the Pipeline was more industrial.
Industrial,
goth.
yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But then you had Aldo's, which was more electronic, right up there
Right.
with the loop.
Synthy.
Yeah, synthy, more like.
It's funny. Yeah, you think of Aldo's, you think of one of our stations. And even though we didn't work with them, we were on the same time as WLIR in Long
Right,
Island. That's why I think Aldo's had the LIR influence for
yes,
sure.
and they always
That's
had,
correct.
they would
Yeah.
have them there at the venue too.
Yeah.
And same thing with the loop. They had the similar vibe as Aldo's, in my opinion. you know.
Yeah.
And I I literally did 1, 2, 3. I did 5 bars. Oh my God, I'm from Massachusetts.
You're South Boston.
I have done
Yeah.
5 bars in one night when the venues used to be open until
You're
3
talking
o'clock
like
in the
you
morning.
just done 5 bars in one night, as a matter of fact.
I'm having speech impediment syndrome. But I've done that with my friend Wayne. Like we've done Pipeline, Aldo's, Loop, Melody, and I think the Court or the Roxy at the time, all in one night.
Right.
And it was crazy. Oh my God, there's someone crazy at the door. I wonder who it could be.
You gotta love that.
You get like, oh look.
Yeah, actually, the thing you can't see on this podcast is
We're
you're seeing
facing
stuff behind us, but we're facing the ocean. We're
facing
actually
the
So
looking
we've
out
got
the window
the
at
best
the ocean.
view of Asbury Park.
Yep.
And if you ever come
People
down,
walking up the boardwalk,
Yeah.
there they are. We're watching them, and
think
we
about
get
it.
distracted by them.
Yeah,
frankly.
if you ever decide to come down to Asbury Park, or right on the boardwalk, we're not far from Convention Hall in Asbury Park. It is worth checking out what the guys from Shared Universe have done with this studio. It's a really great setup.
CJ, come sit next to me. I don't care. Now I've said it. You have to be
CJ Cullen from Hang On to Your Shorts podcast is going to
Okay.
step in on this. But
see.
where do you want to start? I mean, because you got a couple
I think
things.
we started already.
Well, we've given an introduction of where we're going, which is great.
We can make the introduction last the entire time.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
could do that. Plus, we have to introduce this.
Mr. Cullen, who decided to stop
Yep,
in.
Cullen's
Thank
here.
Thank you, CJ.
Coming early. Enjoy this weather because I'm going to be working for like 2 days straight around the clock. So
Oh, good God.
I just needed some air.
Well, thank you for stopping by, sir.
Well, you smell very moisturized, by the way.
I took a shower.
Oh, you're very moisturized smelling.
This is what this is
I
all
have
going to be
no
all
idea.
about.
Yeah, really.
Welcome
tuned
to
in
my
for this?
brain. Welcome to my brain.
And there's-
CJ smells moisturized.
Oh, you're scaring me. You really are.
That's what. You okay with that?
Yeah.
You want to sit closer?
Our show got canceled tonight.
Ah.
I just found out. So
I'm sorry.
Icarus.
Yeah, they were supposed to do the podcast after you guys, after about 8
After
o'clock.
we're outta here,
Yeah,
yeah.
after you're out of here. But they were going to do it live from the Icarus Brewing in Lakewood. What happened?
I don't know.
You know?
Okay.
Okay,
No one tells
there's
me
your
anything.
update, ladies and
Not
gentlemen.
live from Icarus. Brewing.
No.
And I said, let's do it somewhere else, but they just want to meet and
Okay.
get things done.
Moving on.
Moving on.
We'll hang out here.
No problem. We're about to talk about some new music. We're going to talk about ADHD and a few other things. So-
ADHD.
Actually, I think we've been talking about ADHD all night too.
Yes. What? Squirrel.
So
Press the shiny red candy like
We're in
button.
radio.
You know-
We've been diagnosed.
since I said ADHD, not everybody knows what this is. Explain what exactly is ADHD DJing.
Okay, so for
Okay.
example, I'm sure everyone that has been to a club. Why are you walking away from me?
He's like slowly moving out of the frame.
Here, wait, my breath is bad. Wait. Is that better? It's green tea. So, anyone that's been ever in a venue or listened to radio stations when they have like dance nights or like, this is our dance music night, it is something I don't understand, and it's not age specific or generation specific. It's a trend, I think, where you will play 30 seconds of one song,
And
not
everybody
even
on
the good part, like the intro for 30 seconds,
And everybody on the floor goes, "Yay!"
yeah, and then you'll get a tease of 15 seconds of another song, which
And
is like,
everybody
okay,
on
you
the
can
floor
do
goes,
that
"Huh?"
when DJing, but you'll never hear the rest of that song, and then it just continues like that for the whole time of a show. And it's the most annoying thing. It's like, oh, I'm going to hear the song. Like, okay, I can understand teasing an intro as a
Right.
DJ.
Sure.
But tease it and then eventually get to it. Don't tease it and be like,
There's a metaphor here. I think you're going for.
yes, I don't know if I should say, okay, you're getting dry humped musically.
It's a podcast. You can say that.
Yes, you're getting dry humped musically at a venue or at a radio show, and it's just the most annoying thing on the face of the earth. It makes no sense, and I don't even understand why this became a trend or why it is a trend, and people accept it.
Well, I think it's a combination of aren't I good at what I do? In terms of I can make these little tiny snippets of song work together, and isn't that great? And I haven't lost the beat. And aren't I a fantastic DJ? When the people on the floor are going, I just want to dance to
Right.
the song.
Yes, you want to hear the song.
But I remember when we were DJing.
I'm not that great a DJ, so I play the whole
Yeah,
song.
yeah, but you
We all are
remember,
that way.
and maybe this is where the technology, which is great, but it's bad at the same time.
Right.
Because when we were in the 90s doing the club thing, it was about mixing the beats with vinyl.
Yes.
Which is still a massive challenge.
Or CDs.
my
Don't forget
day.
CDs.
Yeah, I'm sounding like the grumpy old man. I know
Don't
this.
forget
I'm
CDs.
sorry, but
And CDs.
and CDs. But the creativity. I mean, to be creative, if I were going to do something, like for one of your nights, would I take maybe New Order and Orgy and try to blend the two together, since Orgy did cover New Order, Blue Monday,
Yes.
and kind of mix the two together and make it sound seamless? Now that's creative, and it's a little ADHD, but at least it's where we're doing the same song and just kind of blending it together. taking 30 seconds of a song, another 30 seconds of a song, it's like going, hey, look at me. I'm like, you're doing it off a computer. I'm not impressed. Sorry.
Well, yeah, there's an example of people I know that went to certain places where someone said, hey, I have a 10-year span, and I need to play all the songs within a 10-year span. And it wasn't what you think it was. It was another place in Bordentown. And the guy said he had to play all these songs. Like, no, you don't.
No.
If you have a specific 90s night, 80s night, 2000 night, whatever it may be, you don't need to sit there and play every song just to play the 30 seconds of it because no one's going to enjoy it. It's very annoying, and it's just like, it doesn't show any skill. Like, because you know what? I can throw it on iTunes, even though it's gone. But you know what I mean? I can do the same thing through iTunes and just be like, hit play and walk away.
Right.
But we're seeing that more and more with DJs.
Yeah, but I don't understand. I just, that's saying I don't understand it. I don't think it's a good method to follow. I don't think that's going to make the people that you are trying to entertain and to a vibe that you're trying to create.
Well,
you know,
that's
for
the key.
EDM or
That's the
techno,
word I was looking for,
Yeah,
yes.
for EDM or techno, great. But
Yeah, that makes
I don't
more
think
sense.
it works with what we do, alternative music and certain other genres.
And you can just go,
right.
You know, and I've been to nights like that, and they're fantastic. You know, there's a place in Philly, Warehouse on Watts, and James Murphy from LCD was DJing there, and that's what he was doing. He was just he had a vibe going. He just kept the vibe going.
Right.
But nothing I recognized, which was fine. Because I figured, okay, I'm taken on a trip by this guy.
Sean, you may remember this guy. He, in alternative, when it came to mixing beats, like in that genre, Liquid Todd.
Yes.
Was real and still really good at what he does with that. So he's sort of that's the standard I look at.
Where's he doing that now?
I think he does for Sirius XM.
Is he doing it?
He's doing Sirius XM, yeah.
But yes, he did.
Yeah,
he does.
Exactly. But in that genre, in that where it is about the beats and about how you mix it, yeah, I'm all about it. But like you said, if you're into a song, like all of a sudden you're out on the dance floor, here's Echo and the Bunnymen, you're getting in the Lips Like Sugar, and all of a sudden you cut it after a minute. Well, yeah, you're kind of jarring the crowd a little bit, you would think.
Jarring on top of the fact of certain things work that didn't work, and certain things don't work that used to work.
Right.
You know, like we talked about Nick Kershaw or Howard Jones.
Did we?
Jones
We did,
song.
yes.
Or Howard Jones. You know, you play a song like that, people love it, but people maybe used to dance to it. Now they're just like, it's like crickets.
I fell into that trap. You know, I was like, okay, here's a great song. Everybody loves this song. I'm going to play Is She Really Going Out With Him by Joe Jackson.
Which is a great song,
Which
absolutely.
everybody stands around the bar
Not
and
ranking
nods
on
their head
music
to.
per se.
They
We're
don't
not
get-
ranking on the music or
No,
the artist. We're
love
just
the
talking
record.
about what
Absolutely.
works in a dance,
It's an absolute
alternative
crowd.
dance
Right,
venue.
yeah,
And I had people on the floor, and then suddenly I didn't.
And
I
I'll
was like,
defend your
okay, well, congratulations, bar. You now got more beers ordered.
And to defend your
Tip
point,
your
Look
bartenders.
Sharp is still one of my
Oh,
10
yeah.
favorite albums of all
Joe,
time.
if you're watching this,
Yeah.
I love the record.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for that. That was a
remember it.
gift. That was a great
I
album.
should have played
I
Look
love
Sharp, is
that.
what I should have done.
Maybe.
Well, when it came out, like when it first came out, it's like WPIX 101.9.
Ah, yes.
Oh, my
well,
God.
That's
It's
true.
like that, Talking Heads.
Now you're officially old.
Well, Flying Lizards, you know, Ramones, Blondie, all that stuff when WPIX
And
was
inexplicably, Supertramp.
big. I plead the fifth. Anyway,
But to defend Sean's point, alternative always found a way to cheat a little bit. There was always that one artist or two. I mean, even when we're at HTG, there was a point where the Goo Goo Dolls exploded. And they technically weren't quote-unquote alternative at that point, but because we developed the artist, we're going to stick with them.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
you
they
could call it
were
AAA.
they were indie sounding more before.
Yeah, early day. Yeah, absolutely. Early 90s, absolutely.
Bit of Soul Asylum syndrome.
Yes.
You know, where
That's an interesting
you know,
comparison, yeah.
Big old, indie band, and then, Runaway
Break Wide
Train
Open.
happens, and that was,
Yeah.
it breaks right open with a song that isn't really like what they were doing.
No, but I remember watching Johnny in an interview saying, we're not going back to the garage anymore once that song
Exactly.
exploded.
Right. Why
Yeah.
would you?
Well, here's the example that I'm curious about too. It's like I think the Lemonheads. You know, if you figure Matchbox 20 or some other bands like that have popped over to AAA now that you'd hear like on your typical
Are you
older
basically
radio
saying,
station.
why hasn't Evan Dando and the Lemonheads translated into that
Yeah,
genre?
I still think we actually, not we have them, but I still think they're more of, are they still on that cutting edge where they're just so different opposed from that, or they just didn't have that?
It's weird because you look back, they had great songs, and then Mrs. Robinson, of all things, the cover really broke
That
them wide
hits.
open.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a great cover, but it's not really. Evan Dando and the
not the Lemonheads,
No,
yeah.
I mean, to me, Into Your Arms is a great example of a great pop song by them.
Yeah.
Where it's just this very sweet, melodic,
yes.
little edgy, but really good. And that was the problem. I think they got lost by the label. And I'm not trying to blame Atlantic, because Atlantic did break them.
Yeah.
But when you look at the fact that you broke them on the cover, I think it kind of stalled the momentum of the band in a sense.
Well, that was almost Fountains of Wayne. Where they almost hit with a cover and then they said no, we don't want that to be the single. We don't want
Jimmy Eat
Hit Me
World, same
Baby One
example
More
of that.
Time to be the song.
And it's funny because when Stacy's Mom comes out and it exploded.
And it's massive,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's massive. And then all of a sudden they get pigeonholed into that sound. And Fountains of Wayne is just this really good pop band.
Yeah.
And
And funny
Stacey,
and smart.
Right. And that's the thing.
And Stacey's Mom was that.
funny and smart. But I think that was the problem. I really got the feeling that the label wanted another Stacey's Mom
Yeah.
over and over again. And that's not what that band's about. One, it is a brilliant song, but then Radiation Vibe's a brilliant song too.
If the label was like, we want you to be the Knack, they could have come back and said, well, the Knack had one successful record.
Well said.
2 songs up. Digress.
2 songs, though.
I'll digress on that though. The whole thing is being in future references. We will be playing music to go along with what we're saying. We'll be talking
Yes.
about and
Well, we might
playing
actually
that.
be able to if I can find it.
Yeah, we will
you
play
go.
the song that we're talking about, and maybe we'll set up a little DJ gig, DJ rig, and like do a transition to show
Yeah.
you
Very cool.
what not to do
I like that.
or what's annoying.
Right.
Not what not to do. Everyone DJs their own specific way. I'm not saying we're
Yeah.
the world's best DJs. I'm just saying that we've done it long enough, and we've been exposed to enough of these DJs, and hopefully we'll get some of them on here. Everyone knows who I'm talking about.
No,
Okay, okay. I
Give us
want,
a couple of names.
Okay, I really would like to get Ted from Aldo's. I'd like to get.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get him down here. It's a nice place.
It's
You can look at the
Rusty,
ocean.
Rusty from the Pipeline and the
Okay.
Melody in Studio One, and then there's DJ Iron Mike, and then
Can we throw Ed Wong in that mix?
Ed Wong,
Yeah.
but I'm just talking about the DJs from up north. And
Okay.
I just want to get a couple of those
Then we can
guys
talk about the
because
DJs from
their
down
music,
south.
what they did up north was different. Like the Aldo's DJs and the Loop DJs, like Bruce from the
Right.
Loop. I think get those DJs to come down because there's a different vibe than what we had down here, and it's fun to throw that back and forth.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Like I learned everything from paying attention to Rusty and Mike, and Jeff Manheimer, who were like quintessential like DJs that
Yeah.
could throw things together that I would just never imagined in my life.
And
Yeah.
big ups,
And-
big ups to you, Jeff, because again, you're part of our fraternity, being
Right.
from 106.3 for
Indeed.
sure.
Right, and that was
And he's
different.
got
than,
he's got the brand to prove it.
Well,
Absolutely.
Mick Hale, another great DJ right here in Asbury Park, a phenomenal DJ, Mick. There's a lot of DJs that I just want to bring on here and just have discussions with because everyone does it a different way.
Right.
Like Jeff, I know back in the day was like before he went all electronic and stuff. He was really the Manchester guy.
Yeah, very
That's
much
who
so.
you went to. You went to Jeff for the Manchester stuff. And I
when
wanted.
Dylan went electronic.
Yes.
Manheimer went electronic.
But like I said, there's the other DJs from Melody. I don't know, maybe you can get Matt to talk about it one day. Ed Wong,
You can get him in town.
Trent,
Yeah.
Marcus from the Melody. Who else is there? Like I said, there's DJ Iron Mike, Pat Pearson.
Pat Pearson, another one. Very good, yeah.
Yep.
Who am I forgetting?
Well, Lisa Uber, we got,
Lisa
they're
Uber,
going through everybody at the
DJ
reunion.
Debutante, right?
Right.
Pete Santiago. I want to
Yep.
try to get like one of them at a time because
Yeah.
we only have.
Well, Debbie didn't DJ there.
Yeah.
But,
Right. Yeah. No, I'm talking about just DJ and just people at DJ
People that
itself.
do
And I think if you tune into the show on the regular, once we get past
Once it is
episode
regular,
1,
yeah.
but you're going to find some fascinating DJs, fascinating stories, and yeah, everybody you mentioned has a very distinctively different style. I think that's really interesting.
And they all know how to play with crowds too, which
yeah.
I
Is
will
key.
say this as an insult to a lot of new people nowadays. They do not know what a crowd is. You do not go into a venue with a set playlist.
Well,
you do
that's,
not
that
go,
is a key thing, and you said vibe before, and
Yeah.
I wanted to jump on that, and I'm going to because I do that.
Good.
I plead the fifth about jumping on things.
But when I
Look at
when I
Christian's
was
face
spinning
when I
at the,
said that. His eyes just rolled.
Yeah, we want to thank Christian, our engineer, who's just sitting here kind of going, how did I get into this mess?
Why am I
Really,
here?
how did I get here?
Damn you, man!
So you don't. If you go in with a set playlist, you're doomed to failure because you don't know what the crowd's going to be reacting to, and if you're if you're set, you're dead.
But I will say this, because
And she stole my song.
Right.
And that's why "You Stole My Song" becomes very important.
It does, and it happens a lot.
Yeah.
But thanks to you, I got back into doing some club DJing and getting into the bars. And the first time I'm out here, Melodrama here has hired me, and I'm looking at it, and I did bring. How much of that set list did I follow? Like maybe 2 or 3, and that was
Well,
it.
you
Because
got
it
the
was just
obligatory,
yeah, but it was more like what? I'm a little nervous. Haven't done this in a while, so I kind of
Yeah,
as
you
a
want to
guy
have a skeleton, there,
right, and
yeah.
it was a skeleton. But then you're sitting around and you're feeling the crowd. You're also listening to what everybody else is playing to avoid the "you stole my song" moment.
Yes. And
But
also,
yeah.
you were handed an iPad with about 10,000 songs
Which
on it.
really helped, I might add.
I forgot to mention Chris Van Orton too. you
Chris
know.
DJ Van Orton. Yeah.
From-
who, by the way, he's got a gig coming up. Or did that happen?
He's
already?
doing Friday, I think, with the
Inspector
guys from Drop-
7.
No, that's Saturday.
That's Saturday.
Okay.
Who's DJing with Mix Show and the guys from Drama Rama on Friday? Or they're not doing that.
No,
At
no,
the
no.
Asbury Park Yacht Club.
Yeah, that's Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you're
Oh,
thinking-
okay.
yeah.
So that's the same night.
Mod
as what
Fun
we're
and the
doing.
other two guys.
Okay.
We'll promote them though because it's cool.
Absolutely.
We're all the same family.
Equal opportunity pluggers for sure.
We're all the same family, literally.
Just an envelope full of money. We'll take it.
Oh, that'd be
That
nice.
was a joke.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's the reality.
Wait, no, this is the radio. We can joke about that.
Yeah, this is a podcast. Again, hello, how are you? But yeah, when you have it scripted out, you're losing a lot of the feel. I noticed right away. It was like, okay, I had it listed. 2 of the songs. You played my song. You played my song. Okay, fine. I'm like going, first song I went with, and then I'm feeling the room and going, wait a minute. I'm changing on the fly because you're starting to feel like, no, this would go better with this, and
right.
and that's how it is. You really do have to.
And they're
read
liking
that
this
room.
in particular, so let me get some more of that going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're kind of trying to stick to that same genre and maybe deviate just slightly so maybe you can segue slowly to another place and set up the next DJ really well.
Well, unless you get someone like the lovely and very talented and great dancer, Mrs. Gavin. When you play too much, she's just like, "Will you stop it? We need a break."
Well, that's one of the things that we have. When you're a disc jockey, professionally, and
Radio
when I
or
say-
clubs like
in a
that?
club,
Okay.
and you're looking, when I go out, I'm looking to have a fantastically happy crowd for the entire set.
Yes.
Yeah.
A professional disc jockey in a club is trying to send people to the bar once every few songs.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
No, that's a good point.
But you do want the bar to make money.
I'm
They
not
will
looking for
disconnect.
I'm not looking for strokes on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
or broken hips at our age.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking for I like this. And the weird part is once you start going through your night, you start talking to everyone, and you're like, you ignore the music, and you're like, oh my God, the list. Hopefully everyone's doing a list so I can quickly go over the list before my set's up because I don't want to replay a song that someone else did.
Yeah. Right.
And then it's like, you're trying to pay attention, and it's like, that's a hard thing. Like, since we do it with the varied amount of DJs, it's paying attention to what the other guys are doing and
Very
seeing
much
what the
so.
reactions are to the people, on top of the fact of certain people at this table just don't know when to stop dancing because they get all sweaty and disgusting, Sean. And
Thank you.
Did you just get thrown under the bus? Just a
The
little
sweaty bus.
The
Yes.
sweaty bus. There
But
you
for
go.
some reason, he goes up and then he'll know what goes on. It's like, I don't know if he's listening or he has that weird psycho memory thing where he just remembers everything. I'm just saying.
No, there is some memory portion reserved for. Hey, I heard that, therefore I should not play it now.
Right. But there's nothing wrong, in my personal opinion, there's nothing wrong to play another song from the same group.
Absolutely no.
And what's really weird, sometimes, here's the stupid thing, you could play a really good Depeche Mode, at the beginning of the night.
Okay.
Just you have to get rid of that stuff in the beginning, like you play the weird stuff, like I would play I don't know, a jazz song or play Vivaldi, whatever I want to play in the beginning of the night, just to get it out of my head. It
All
just
right.
starts me up. That's why I'm like, I'm doing the first song, I used to do the last song, now I don't want to do the last song. I was going to do the first song. But I try to, I want everyone at the beginning of the night to take 10 or 15 minutes in the beginning of any show and just play what they feel will get them going. Okay. And then you could, if there's people there, great, work that aspect of it, but
Right.
try to get that thing that you need. What's
Right.
your little adrenaline rush? What's going to start your night and, get everyone going? I love watching people in the beginning of the night tapping their feet. Not necessarily a dance song, because, no one's going to dance in the beginning of the night.
Right, not at the beginning.
Well, not a lot of people would. And just have
Not
your
without
fun.
serious coercion, which
Yes.
is what was going on at the Melody
Alcohol or
reunion.
alcohol or marijuana.
One of the
choice.
things we share stylistically is we kind of lean.
It was alcohol.
We lean more 80s and 90s, but I also know, Sean, you always try to incorporate something that's hip and new into the mix.
That's now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very now. I mean, LCD Soundwave sound like.
LCD Sound System, or,
Sound System, yeah.
or the new Slater Kinney was unbelievable.
There we go, yeah.
And I put it on, and there were like at least
Will
three
we
people
play
who
it
had,
next time?
Yeah, we may play that record.
Right. But
It
there
was nice seeing people's heads snap around
Right.
happily, as
Right.
opposed to, why are you playing this? We want to hear the old stuff. So that was good.
But that's a skill too, because you're trying to balance it out a little bit, where it's like, okay, maybe I slip this in between here and
Yeah.
here, and get a read of the crowd. And if the crowd sticks with it, you kind of go, "Ooh, I know that for next time to kind of use that."
Yeah, I don't want to be I want to be I hate saying the word genre. I want to be broad but specific, if that makes any kind of sense to you. It's all going to be alternative dance music.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts. But I want to, you could throw Underworld in the middle of a night on any given.
Pretty
80s
much any
night.
time, yes.
Yeah,
Right.
and it'll always do well, because it's Underworld. Some people are like, oh my God, that's Underworld, because they're like, they forgot about it, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny. We were going to talk about 2 new songs. Now, both of these
Can you
songs...
tell I love Underworld, by the
No,
way?
no, I can tell. But the 2 new songs we were going to bring up tonight were Green Day and Pearl Jam, and
Right.
both of them actually would work, I would think, if you were to throw them in the
Yes,
mix.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, actually, the funny thing is I have not spent a lot of time with the new Green Day. The Pearl Jam I have.
I just heard the new Green Day, Oh Yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I go, this is probably about as poppy as they're ever going
What's
to
the
be.
cover of?
Well, they're sampling. They're,
It's a
they're
mashup.
borrowing.
It's a
they're
mashup.
borrowing from the Touch. Oh God,
It's a mashup.
from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Yes, Do You Want
Do
to
You
Touch?
Wanna Touch?
Yeah,
Do
it's
You
a
Wanna
mashup.
Touch,
It's a
right.
mashup.
Right.
Which is Tommy James and the Shondells.
Yes.
Yes. And it's used, but it's used really well. And they're not using direct. They're re-singing it, but they don't do a direct sample. But
Yes.
it is, what I'm
You hear
saying.
the-
They're
you hear the-
borrowing it. Yeah.
The drum
Okay.
line and the
Yeah.
beat.
And
the
they're
bass.
doing the
Yeah.
all yes,
Yeah.
and hence the title of the song.
Yeah, but what's not to like about those? You want to sample them? Go ahead.
Right. But the minute I heard it, though, I was going, wait a minute, this could work in 80s and 90s alternative in the club. It could easily work, and I think it could get the crowd going.
Well, it gets the crowd. I think it'll work. And hint, hint, we might try that Friday. You never
I
know.
think we should, actually.
If Sean ever gets there at a normal time.
And to Pearl Jam, Sean and I were talking
I'm
about
going to
this.
be on the highway a lot before I get. I've given you a heads up, I believe.
Before we started the podcast, Sean and I were talking about the Pearl Jam. I mean, it's unique to hear them do something distinctively different. Because it does sound like a Talking Heads song. The new single sounds, oh my God, it's like
It sounds heavily David Byrne.
heavily David. Not a bad thing. I mean, it just...
and not in a bad way at all.
No, I mean, if anything, I think it's great that Pearl Jam decided to do something so beyond where they were and try something that, and again, knowing these guys, it seems like they have to do that to keep it fresh and for them and make it fun for them.
Progress. Everyone changes. You can't say you're not going to pigeonhole a band and they're going to be the same thing day after day. It's like David Byrne. David Byrne's my new god. I've loved him since the Talking Heads, since I was a child.
and now,
and it's like
with
now
what
it's
he's doing
like
now.
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I want $400 so I can go see him between September and December.
And you're giving a great example of an artist or a band that is aging well.
Yeah.
David is still great
And his
live.
voice is
yeah,
awesome.
that's what I'm saying. He's just doing an incredible job. He hasn't missed a beat. He's still in great shape,
Yeah.
which helps because he's still dancing around the stage
What
and
are you
doing
trying
what
to
he's
say
doing.
about us?
Well, I can only speak for myself. I'm in better shape than I've been in a long time, but still
No, I'm
got a
just
ways to
saying.
go.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sean's always been in good shape. Damn it. And he's still got his hair. Damn it.
Hair is a shape.
I blame Head and Shoulders.
Wow, that's too easy. Yeah, gonna see it. All right. So, quick question.
Yes.
All right. So we'll all agree that Pearl Jam and the Green Day. You should listen to it. We don't have it this week. Next week or next time we'll have it, or go listen to it on your own. Tell me
Yeah.
the exact titles of the song.
Dance of the Clairvoyants is the
Yes.
Pearl Jam record,
Don't
and
cover your mouth when you
And
say
that's
that.
the single we were talking. That's the single we're talking about. And
Dance of the Clairvoyants.
Voyants, which is the single, and Oh Yeah is the single from Green Day.
Okay. I'm trying to not look down and be like, hey, we're being very fluid about this, and we're not.
It's a podcast, for God's sake.
I'm
Stop.
trying to relax. Come on, look at me. I got like 3 chins going on.
I think one of those
Oh,
is
look,
mine.
I got Christian to laugh. This is awesome. I love it. Self-deprecating humor.
See, if
it works.
this were radio, we'd be like, going, it's 7:10 here on You Stole My Song. And now, Andrew Rees, DJ Melodrama.
One of your chins is going to have a Facebook profile.
Wow.
As will mine.
Wait a minute, does it come with subtitles? No, mine comes with subtitles. Wait a second.
We're going to do Ricky Gervais pictures.
Oh! If you've never seen Ricky Gervais underwater, go find it on Facebook or YouTube, because this thing is the most disturbing yet laughable thing you've ever seen.
Oh,
Well,
look up
he's-
Ricky Gervais pictures.
Look at, yeah, it's like
He's
our friend
never
CJ
had-
is looking at it. It's wild.
He's never had really any reticence to describe, especially when people confront him with his looks in the 80s.
Right.
Because remember, once
Oh,
upon a
yeah, his
time,
band.
his band, Shona Dancing,
Dancing.
were sort of new romantics, very late on the new romantic
Romantics,
train.
right.
But definitely following the Spandau Ballet Duran Duran mold. And people are like, whatever happened to those cheekbones? And he's like, decades of cheese.
See, this is proof cheese is bad for you. It's good, but it's bad.
Oh, it's good.
We love Ricky, like-minded people.
Oh, there we are.
That's That's it.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Now you gotta look up the,
Christian, I thank you for putting that up.
the Shona
That is
dancing.
that is just classic right there. It's amazing.
Can anybody see that? Nobody can see that yet, right?
Put it on the feed.
Yeah.
There we go.
He looks like the fourth stooge.
Larry, Curly, Moe, and Ricky
and Jellyfish.
Jellyfish. There we go. Jellyfish.
You met Rick?
Yeah.
And please,
Oh,
Dubai.
please. What's Ricky like?
tell.
I was on Curb Your Enthusiasm episode a long time ago,
Okay.
and I'm online I was an extra basically.
Right.
And there was a guy standing next to me, and he's just talking to me. He had sunglasses on, and some guy right next to me goes, "Hey, you look like Ricky Gervais." He takes off his glasses. He goes, "I am Ricky Gervais."
Was he shooting extras at the time? Was this? It was.
I think that he was doing that, but he had a very, very funny appearance on Curb,
Okay.
and I was in the audience for that, and it was very funny.
All right.
Very cool.
It's an episode when they first got to New York and that season.
Okay.
It's another
Oh, is that
CJ's
the season
Special
with?
Stardom.
That's not the season with the producers, is it?
I can't remember. It was
Because I got a link to that one
years ago.
Yeah, this one as well. No, my brother was the guy tending bar when Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft come in
I think
and
that
go,
was the season.
you know,
Yeah,
we
I
finally
remember
killed the
that,
play. We don't have to go to these parties anymore, and then it's a success.
So that was interesting. And then he looked at me and he's like, and someone said I looked like him, and we both looked at each other and we're like, and we walked away.
And there you have it. That moment of meh. Yeah, that exactly. On the definition of meh, it says see that moment.
There was a small but potent group of people, and I am one of them, that thinks that the two songs he released under the name Shona Dancing were genius.
Wow.
Absolutely
They were.
fantastic
Wow.
records.
No, there's no doubt.
And
Might hear that Friday also.
the records never sold. They got dropped, and that was that. That was the end of his rock stardom.
But at least he admits it, unlike other people that don't want to admit things.
Right. Well, and also he's got office money to cry into.
Oh. Speaking of people that you're surprised that were into music, okay, don't.
Move your mic over. There you go.
Sorry.
I have,
hate
to,
me
I
for
have to
this.
teach this man everything.
Don't hate me for this.
You cannot pass.
I want one attached to my head. I just want like a headphone thing. It'd be a lot easier for me because I have a big head. Don't laugh. No one out there laugh at me. Just out of curiosity.
We're gonna.
Okay, you're gonna laugh, and it's only because I have children. I think it's a pretty good song. Is Haley from Paramore? Her song. It's very what's her face? Her. You know, her husband. That's on The Voice.
Haley's husband is on the.
No, not Haley's husband. The girl that's married to what's his face on The Voice, the country music artist.
Oh,
You know,
you're talking about Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. That Haley song reminds me of a Gwen Stefani kind of vibe back in the day.
Ah,
You haven't
You
heard
know
it
what?
yet. You haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
and neither will we because we haven't got the music set up.
But
Just something for you
how
to
is
listen
that?
to.
You're right, but how is that a bad thing? It's not.
No, it was
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah.
It was surprising. I heard it. I was like, that reminds me of Gwen Stefani. It was like, I like the change.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right, and if you do want Gwen Stefani, she is doing a song with Blake Shelton, by the way.
Hey, that's a big cricket moment for me there, wasn't
Oh,
it? Wow, big crickets.
Ooh.
Yeah, thank you, CJ. Appreciate it.
There we go.
I had a cricket moment.
Okay, I-
Wait
actually,
till your cricket moment
think-
shows
I
up,
think-
gentlemen.
I think we can remove Ricky Gervais's picture from our podcast.
I'm sure.
It's like, who's sponsoring that?
Ricky Gervais being sponsored by
Us. I feel dirty all of a sudden, but I like it.
And why shouldn't you?
Let me see. One other thing I like to talk about also is Friday, but today is technically the day. Everyone on 3 say happy birthday to a special person that we know.
Okay.
It's like Scott from The Saint.
All right.
I'm not gonna say how old he is because I really don't know. I think he's younger than me.
Here, we'll do the restaurant happy birthday song because
Ready? Well, I'm not gonna sing.
happy birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott Stamper, the owner of The Saint in Asbury Park.
25 years and going strong.
It is his birthday today.
Yeah.
We love
He's
Scott.
been going on longer than 25 years, but the Saint has been going on 25.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
And I love that he gave us a chance, and I appreciate John Matthews for getting us that conversation to get us
Yeah.
involved in the Saint because certain places in New Brunswick just died.
Yeah.
Or should have died a long time ago.
Is it the Court Tavern again?
No, it's something else.
It is something else?
Don't,
Is it
I
the-
don't,
okay.
don't, I don't want to know.
Well, there'll be a few nights coming up at the Saints, so go to the Saints webpage and find out more. Melodrama's got at least 3. Count them, 3 nights.
4, actually.
4 now?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing this Friday the 13th.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, April 4th, we'll be playing after the Jacks.
The Jacks, yes.
The Jacks.
Right.
We're playing after the Jacks, if I'm not mistaken. And then we're doing a date in May and a day in June. And June 13th, self-deprecating Andrew's birthday is June 14th. So
Is it? So you would
Translation, he will not spin it all. We just have to kiss his ass.
you would
Yes,
like-
basically.
you would
Play
like
for me,
presents.
people. Play your music. I might play a couple songs from you guys. But
Yes, play for me.
play for me.
Look on Facebook, there'll be blasts coming, but always go to the Saints webpage and it'll give you all the details. Are we going to do any theme nights out of those 4 other than your birthday?
I had a conversation with this man to my left, and me and him have a verbiage issue.
Why is that?
Because I said, it's going to be a night, and he's like, no, it'll be a tribute night, so I don't understand the concept.
No,
Why'd you say tribute over, like, we're just going to play this movie and this song, this group?
tribute seems to be a thing when they go. It's a tribute to the
Well,
movie. It's,
Well,
yeah.
you know
No,
what?
that's a cover band thing.
No,
Don't
no, no,
even
no,
get
no,
me
no,
started
no,
on
no,
that.
no. Wait a minute. No, Sean's got a point because think about it. It's not just a cover band thing. Think about all these artists that are coming back, even though they haven't been around in a while. I mean, God bless my friends, the Caulfields out of the Philly area, who are actually doing a 25th anniversary tribute to their first album, Whirly Gig. So
Yes.
they're going back on the road.
Right.
Greenberry Woods, I know, are going to be back on the road. It's like
Just announced today, Modern English.
Modern
We'll be
English
playing
is coming.
Asbury Lanes. With,
Right,
and
and
we'll be playing
is
Out for
that-
the Snow in its entirety.
So I was about to say, that's the anniversary,
And
right?
then you forgot
Yeah.
about Alison Morissette, and then Garbage, and
Liz Phair.
Liz Phair.
That may be the concert of the
Alanis
summer, I
Morissette.
think.
I was thinking Alice Moyet.
I think he said Moisette.
It's good English.
No, I
but
consider,
yeah,
I
Alanis
consider,
Morissette's-
yeah, I consider that one of the biggest concerts this summer in my book. That one, for sure. The Morissette bill, because
okay.
not only are you getting Alanis, you're getting Garbage, who's a great live band.
Yeah, true.
And
Yeah.
true.
Oh,
Liz,
gosh.
who has battled the stage fright thing for years, and to see her back on the road, I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
And I personally I'm a big fan of Garbage. I just love, aside from, Shirley having been Scottish and having that accent, I just love their music. It's just, the 90s, all the female-fronted bands from
And
the
there were
90s
lots
that
more
you
of them than there
don't
were in the 80s.
Yeah.
that you don't hear anymore. I loved all that. It's like I'm not talking like specifically Lilith Berry kind of
No,
like
but there's nothing. But Lilith Fair was so important
So
at
big,
that
right.
point. At that point in time, absolutely.
Yeah, like Daisy, like the weird bands, not weird bands, but the obscure bands like Daisy Chainsaw and stuff like that.
Right.
Just other bands that had like female-fronted.
Oh, the
singers.
Primitives come right to mind.
Right.
Print of,
Yeah.
and Veruga Salt.
Right.
Veruga Salt's a great
Yeah, that's more the
example,
norm. Yeah, that's
Right.
that. Yeah, I understand that, but
Yeah.
more of the different ones. I don't have my list in front of me, but there's other bands that sort of had more female, harder rock, but it was still danceable.
As soon
kind
as
of
you
things.
said that, Elastica came to mind.
Yes, Elastical is one of Elastical.
Elastical?
Elastica.
But again, there's 2 songs that come right to mind when you're going in and playing like a 90s set. Only Happy When It Rains by Garbage. Connection by Elastica. Usually gets the crowd going pretty good.
Yeah,
Usually.
I would concur with you and wholeheartedly agree.
Thank you very much.
Sean, your input on this?
Let's congratulate each other.
Air high five each other.
Internet high five.
Don't give our engineer Christian any ideas. He may put a high five up there. Don't give him any ideas. Do not.
Wow. Hi, I'm Rob Acapura. I'm passively aggressive. Do not put that up there. No, do not. Wink, wink. Put that up there.
Are you accusing me of something here? Only because
Passive
you
aggressive?
just
No.
because you know me since
lost the
19.
He's being aggressively passive.
Right.
What else you want to talk about, gentlemen?
What do you got for us? I think you got.
We said hello to Scott.
Yes,
we
we
did the
did.
songs of the day and stuff like
I'm
underrated dance song.
Underrated
Alternative.
dance song, yeah, okay.
Underrated alternative dance song. It could be from then till now.
That's a good question. I like that.
Pearl
Ooh.
by Chapter House.
Interesting.
Lush.
Lush. Anything
Chow.
by Lush.
Chow. Chow from Lush. That's Chow, right?
I don't know if it's underrated, but I don't get to hear it that much. Getting away with it by Electronic.
Oh, yeah.
No. Do we play that?
We have played it.
There is a
played
remix of that does work.
Yeah.
Clear, but it's just one of those
Oh
songs.
no, love that record.
Yeah, but it's one of those. It's never always top of mind when you're in the club. It's one of those. We know it's brilliant, and it was a brilliant record when it came out. I mean,
It's a super group.
yeah, they were.
How many terabytes
I mean,
of music?
Bernard Sumner, Johnny Marr. I mean, hello,
right.
thank you very
How many
much.
terabytes of music are we throwing up there at any given time? It's just terabytes and terabytes of music, and try to work that into your head. It's like he played that, I played that. I feel like doing this. It's just way too much music. And it's like that's why I like.
So we give up.
No. It's way too much music. That's why I like when we do these. I'm like, oh, let's try to pull something else out and pull something different. Like, what did you pull out a couple months ago in the beginning of the night? It was not the sweater song. We was talking in the beginning.
Oh,
Ponderous?
Elder moment.
It was not was.
Was not was. That's
I
it.
feel better than James Brown.
Oh,
Yes.
great song. Oh, my God.
Beginning of the night stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But it made everyone go.
Yeah.
Right, but there's the classic song.
Yeah.
19 tequilas later, we
had
had
a
a deal.
No, that was what was the one that I got so much the opposite of flack for having put up Driver's Seat by Sniffing the Tears at one of
Yes.
the Melody reunions.
There's
And,
nothing, but again, that was that borderline song for the format, but it was
Yeah.
just one of those significant songs of the era too.
yeah, that was a WPIX record.
Yeah,
definitely.
it was, yeah, but,
Yeah, because I missed that.
but there was a couple of those artists. You think of that. You think of the Monroes. What do all the people know?
Yeah,
That
right.
was clearly PIX NEW.
Awesome, love it. It turned into AAA when PLJ existed because they used to play all that all the time.
Right.
And then, like that and When in Rome.
The Promise.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
Now,
I
I
love
always-
those two songs, and they will get people out there. But it's just like do you have that right person? Because you need that one person that just makes it go, ah, that one screamer that goes out there as soon as they hear like the first 3 seconds of a song, and you hear that scream on the dance floor.
Yep.
I love that because then you go. The other thing I love too. Sorry, I'm digressing. The other thing I enjoy watching
Well, I
is
love the dance floor scream. Absolutely.
the dance floor screen. On top of the fact that the fun part of you play a song, the intro of another song is right there, and they still don't get it. Then all of a sudden, when it kicks in,
clicks it, yeah.
and they're just like,
And I'm already on the floor. Yay!
I don't even have to move.
By the way, if you keep me score at home, that's the third time Christian has belly laughed tonight. 3. The over/under was 2.
He's here. He's seen everything. He knows everything. He's like, you're not going to get me. We got you. Thank you.
I want to ask two people here questions. We'll start
thank
with-
you, Christian, for
we'll
being
start
an
with
attentive
Christian.
audience.
I know we talked this earlier about. You said you do listen to certain alternative songs. If you knew about an alternative dance song, what would you listen to?
Damn it. I claim to be good at music.
It's okay, man.
Knowing knowledge of music, considering who I was raised by, but I mean, it's so all over the place. I can't give you an answer. I'm sorry.
No,
It's okay.
just always looking
You know
for
that
someone-
song that does the thing?
Exactly.
And then it does this,
Right,
and
it's
then
got
it
that
goes over
groove,
there.
It's got that groove that goes like this, and then it
Yes.
kind of goes into this.
Because I also said Ben Fold earlier, and you didn't take that as an answer for alternative.
No,
No,
I personally think Ben Folds is
No,
great.
no,
It's not
I
a
would
club
say-
song,
yeah.
but I mean, yeah. I
They're
mean,
not club songs.
No,
that's
but-
not
yeah.
that's not like what comes to me.
no, but
Oh, yeah.
but yeah,
I
I
Love Ben Folds.
I think Sean and I will defend when we first started Underground from that first album.
Yep.
You knew it's like this guy is unique. He's different. Love him.
And I still laugh every time I hear a clank when they go. It's industrial clank.
That's another whole show is industrial and goth music. I want to get into that eventually.
I was always a
No, I
dilettante.
did not say anything like bad against. I was just looking for more of like the dance vibe because I know you probably listen to a lot of things that you probably don't even realize are alternative music.
Well,
I think
again,
a lot of people don't.
Well, I think it's always taken some interesting twists and turns.
Not to
There's
mention
been
too many labels. Sorry.
No. I mean, but again, you talked about a lot of the labels, quote unquote, but it was literally different waves. I mean, we had this Manchester UK wave, then we had the industrial wave at one point. Then there was like the Lilith wave. It was like everybody was a female artist that was cracking through with the format. Then there was obviously Seattle grunge in the early '90s.
Right.
I mean, it's funny. We went from grunge to Lilith.
Right.
It was almost like this. Okay, for 3-4 years, we're getting all this heavy. I won't say loud rock, but it was just like, it was so unique.
More rock oriented.
Yeah, more rock oriented. And then by about 94, 95, we were spilling into a new era. And the Lilith artists, ranging from Sheryl Crow to Joan Osborne. I mean, yeah, and believe it or not, those artists started at alternative. And then eventually they went elsewhere. But they got their start because nobody was playing female artists in the rock world at that point in the mid
correct.
90s. Yeah.
Go back to even a little before that. You
Oh,
can
by
talk
the
about
way,
like
there was 2 weeks where we did Gregorian chants. Remember that?
Oh, that's Enigma.
Enigma. That's it.
And the funny thing, and I thank you, Sean, for saying this a long time ago. When HCG came off the air, they went into G Rock, and I was involved in the launch of the station. And one of the songs that I was proud to put on, believe it or not, was Silence by Delirium.
Yes,
Oh,
with
okay, yeah.
Sarah McLachlan.
love Sarah McLachlan's
But
voice.
I think at
People
that,
dance to it.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing was? That early response we were getting to that was sort of our pocket. Myself and Jeff Raspy really kind of knew that texturally we wanted to be a little more pop, a little less rock. So it was like we were a little Manchester, a little, Delirium. We were finding those records that were working. So, I mean, you find a niche, and I think you got to go through the waves and find, if this is the wave, ride it, make it work for your station.
Well, for a while there, honestly, Wicked Game, Chris Isaac.
Yeah.
We played it.
Massive-
it was
massive
played,
record,
and it was
yeah.
played at the Melody. Things like that. There's sort of like Lyle Lovett. That wasn't played at the Melody. I'm just saying that, but that crossed over also with that. Just
that's
like
right.
Yeah.
Sade never
Actually,
did.
more
but
than one
that's
Chris
different
Isaac
genre
record,
altogether.
believe it or not.
Right. So I mean, and I think it's interesting because when you come down on today's alternative and you talk about a Post Malone, and you sit there and go, well, but if this is the avenue he's getting the break in, it's the same thing when you look back on the '90s and say, well, Chris Isaac had to get his break here, and he eventually did explode pop wise. But it's one of those when you look at Chris, he's got great music. It's like 2 or 3 songs did explode,
Yeah.
but he was
Chris?
still Isaac.
Yeah, no, I'm just. I think more than that. There was really
No, well,
there was-
you had Wicked Game. Then he had Somebody's Crying, which was a big
Right,
hit.
right.
And then he had hold on a second.
Bad
I gotta-
Bad on my
Baby did a
big
bad thing. It
thing.
was in one of the I forget which movie it was. It was the Tom Cruise movie actually.
Well,
Yeah.
and then it turned
That-
out he
that
could
Tom
act
Cruise
in
movie.
Fire Walk with Me. And,
yeah. No, I mean
Oh
look.
God, Fire Walk with Me. Oh God.
And the
Creep
Chris,
Central.
By the way,
I
Chris
love-
Isaac's show was very entertaining. Love
Yes.
that
Oh,
show.
yeah, that's right.
I remember Chris Isaac's show. Wow. I liked him as a cop in Silence of the Lambs. He was
There
very
you go.
entertaining.
See
There you
that?
go,
A
right?
whole 3
See?
seconds.
Things
that he
you
was there.
remember.
Clarice.
Hello, Clarice.
My favorite comedy of all time, by the way.
Is Silence of the
Silence
Lambs.
of
the
the
Lambs.
Lambs.
Oh,
yes. There's no doubt on that.
Did I walk into that? Yeah, I did.
No,
Okay.
I'm serious. I just like it's so psychotic. I just have to laugh at it.
Well,
Now you really get an idea where the show's
so
going. He
rumor
thinks
has
that's
it,
yeah.
Martha
Anyway.
Stewart was dating Anthony Hopkins at the time. And apparently he creeped her out so much she broke up with him.
The things
If you're
you
capable
learn.
of that, I'm just
Give me time and some whiskey. I
Wait a minute.
never know.
That may explain why Hopkins gained a lot of weight during that time period. That may explain a lot.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
Lots of Martha Stewart food.
Well, yeah, you know.
Well,
Come on.
So yes, that's a factoid.
Yeah.
Maybe an urban
going
legend, but I
back
think
to
it's
what he
true.
said about a lot of the newer stuff, but I have to go back to that in a second. What happened also, you forgot, in the early part, mid part of the 90s, indie was really big. Remember indie?
Yeah.
Guitar jangly, like indie.
Right.
And there was a part of time where like you couldn't find anything danceable to. So you
That's
had to
true.
rely on Chemical Brothers
Right,
and
right.
80s music and industrial music because there's nothing good alternative like Oasis really. You're not dancing
Yeah,
to
we were
Oasis.
dancing.
Yeah, but that led
Yeah.
to Moby later on.
Yes, and
Yeah, it
back.
did.
And the swing thing that happened too.
I love the swing thing when
Did
it happens.
I-
And I will still listen to it once in a
Oh, I
while.
thought
like
it was
Martini
cool. It was just
Radio.
like it was a left turn, and
Yeah.
it was a pleasant shock.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I swear, anytime I hear that Cherry Poppin' Daddy song, Zoot Suit Riot,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
gets me moving.
Right,
it's just
yeah.
one of those fun songs.
Well, yeah, and I think that the fun part about that was that Brian Setzer, like, he had that back in the 80s.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
All he,
and then he hops back on stage.
Right.
He's like,
It's
"Hey,
like-
remember me?"
Hello, I'm the Stray Cats. Here's the orchestra. We're merging both, and bravo to him. That was it reinvented him, and it's kept his career going to this point.
I also loved Hell.
Oh, Squirrel Nut
Nut
Zippers,
Zippers,
yeah.
yeah.
Actually, anytime during the
Danceable
holidays,
too.
if you get a chance, you put it in your collection. They do a version of Sleigh Ride, Squirrel Nut Zippers, and I swear they say. They're not singing; it's an instrumental, but they sound drunk. The music just sounds so drunk and so witty. It's so much fun. It really is.
The thing I think
Good
is kind
guys,
of funny
yeah.
too is that whole swing thing came back again. If you think about it, it's postmodern jukebox.
True,
That's true.
true. But
I
it's
think-
not getting radio play.
No, it's not getting radio play,
But it
it's
doesn't need to because they're pulling him into Radio City music halls.
Right,
Right.
but see, that's amazing.
But
Because
it's
you
still
think about
danceable.
it. But here's the thing: you've got a sales story, you've got sold out shows, and yet no radio.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, don't you sit there and say, "Is radio missing something on this?"
Is radio
Clearly.
missing what we do?
Radio's missing a lot of things.
Right, I know.
Well, look at what
Us,
Sean
for
does.
example.
Yeah. No, seriously, you can run a radio station. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Is like you can run a station with literally everything we do and new stuff, have specific shows, specific hours, and still make it a viable money-making proposition. But it seems like they are so stuck on country, pop, and just normal
Well,
music.
it's making money. Well,
normal
same as it
music.
ever was.
Normal people music.
No, no,
or
no.
we call vanilla music.
Here's the thing. I will defend country in this sense.
No, I'm not saying. No,
I'll defend it because it is a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Pop in this sense is probably at its lowest form in this sense that the following is a little different. It's not as big as a country. It's not as big as, I'd say, classic rock.
Hip hop or R&B. It's still
Yeah.
not. It's not as.
No, it's not as big. I mean,
Yeah.
because if you look at sales, if you look at who's going to shows and all this stuff, you got the elite pop where before it was like you'd have this, spill over where it's like, okay, you have these pop acts and these pop acts who sound like them are also benefiting from it. Now, the last 3 or 4 years would have been the highest grossing tours. They've either been a classic rock act or a country act.
Oh, classic rock. Yeah, I plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. Yeah, but there's always going to be a place for that. I mean, and I can plead the fifth on certain bands who are touring without many of their band members in it. Although,
do we not get? That's another subject for another show.
Yeah,
because-
can we? Yeah,
Can we just
we'll
not?
hold off
No,
on that.
We're trying to stick with like alternative DJ dance music,
Yes.
and the DJs have done it, and why we need more places and more DJs doing. We're all getting older. Not to be weenie about it, we're all getting older, and I don't see the younger people, or I haven't heard of any younger DJs playing out and having alternative music dance nights.
Well-
and they're just doing EDM-y kind of stuff. Okay, I don't know much about Philly. You know people
Philly's
in Philly.
a thing. I don't know
No, I'm just
what's
looking
going on
here.
there, but
Yeah.
you at midnight in a club on a Wednesday night, you can see a packed dance floor dancing to Joy Division.
Okay.
And
I think-
not
No,
a
I'm
hit.
talking about newer music.
I think it's weird.
Newer.
No,
well,
but-
no, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
No one's doing it.
Someone's doing
I know
it.
it's a handful.
We just don't know them. They're not letting us in.
Well, it's not New York.
Philly's got a good vibe. To defend Sean's point, it really does have a good vibe. It may not be as modern as 2020, but there's something happening between two very pivotal radio stations and a lot of good nights in Philly. So
Yeah.
it just seems to be.
One pivotal.
Well,
Do we want to talk about ADHD Radio 104.5 and 92.3 with their Saturday night dance shows? Do we really? I'm calling it out for what it is. You know what? I'll put any
it's a
of
good
us.
thing he's running out of time because I'll tell you something. That's a debate that could go on forever.
I will put any of us on those station and just do a way better job on it. I'm calling them out on it. I'm serious. It's just horrible music. Because you know what? If you're going to throw a Depeche Mode song on, don't tease me with 15 seconds and then throw in Fun or whatever alternative indie song that you want
We
to
Are
play.
Young or something like that.
Yeah, just don't do those shows if you're not going to really dig deep and find music that's really, give me 100+ BPM continuously on your 1 hour, 2 hour show on a Saturday night. Give me something. Don't just give me stupid radio.
Just remember something, though. You are
Because-
not their target audience.
Oh, I know that. I totally
Just
know that.
understand that.
But if you're going to have a dance show, wouldn't it be cool if you're hanging out one night on terrestrial radio? You could just be like, or driving, because, not everyone has the newer radios in their cars, or like, the thingies. So why not just be, it should be enjoyable.
Translation:
three songs.
Andrew wants a show just for him.
No,
And nobody's
Doesn't
doing
everybody?
it for him.
Yeah.
You know what I miss? Vince Scelsa. Shows like Vince Scelsa's show. That's not dance music, but I love that variety that he did. I loved Vince Scelsa. I loved his shows.
Yeah.
That
Well,
type
he
of
was,
stuff. Certain people here know what I'm
Patron
talking
saint,
The patrons.
about. Patron saint of what we do.
Yeah, can't be a saint yet because he's still around. He retired, but he's still around.
I'm the fifth Beatle.
Oh, well, that's
Sorry.
Scott's own dude.
Yeah.
And actually it was really funny because back in the day, you mentioned Scott Muni, we would just take a shot at him left, right, and center over at 106.3
We
because we
did.
thought
We
he was
really did,
completely
actually.
ossified. The man was a legend.
Yeah.
No, not that great, but if you're that point, everyone should be fodder.
Yeah.
I think everyone's cannon fodder.
Yeah.
There was a
And we'd
point.
make fun of Dick Clark, but he'd have the jam on the show.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
I think there was a point where Muni and those guys in New York really took notice of us because they came into our backyard. You
Well,
remember
yes.
Smithereens?
Yeah.
Right here on this beach in Asbury Park. I think it was 92 maybe?
91.
91. Okay, I know it was in that ballpark.
But,
So here it is.
yeah.
It's the summer of 91. We invade the beach. We're pissed off that this is happening.
Yes.
We know it's any day. But and then somebody, I think it may have been Muni who said it from the stage. Oh, here come the Bennies in the crowd, meaning us, handing out T-shirts. So I'm going, yeah.
Yeah, I think you've got that wrong.
Yeah, but we're looking at him kind of going, go ahead, prop us. Go ahead. Thank you.
Bad press is still press.
You know what it was, though? I think
Oh,
that
it was good press
Oh,
eventually.
I think that was a major turning point at that point. I mean, look, the station already had a great cult following. It did great work. God bless Rich Robinson, Chopper, and that whole first wave of people that launched it. They did a great, and then that
Well,
moment.
because, there wasn't any such thing. There was WLIR
Right.
that existed, but that wasn't exactly what Rich and Mike Marone were planning on doing.
Right.
And they did something
signified
very
themselves.
different.
Yes, they did.
And it was, which also showed up in the venues that played that music.
Right.
And
That's
like you
right.
said, between North Jersey and New York versus South Jersey and a little bit further out west.
Yeah, and,
You know,
and
and
Matt
a lot
was
of it is-
influencing that.
Well,
as
that's
well
what I'm
back
saying.
then.
That to me led to HDG 2.0.
Right.
Where it's like Mike Butcher coming in, Matt Pinfield having more expended role in the station. God bless you to both of them. Myself getting more involved. You were definitely
was
always
there.
there, always there. And it's like, and Sean became a key guy where it's like, oh, we need a fill in the morning. Sean's doing it.
Right.
Pretty much.
He's just
Religiously.
He's just easy, though. It's a difference.
No.
And cheap.
Yeah, cheap. But I'll tell you something. Any radio station, it's hard to have somebody fill in the morning. And Sean just had the sensibility and the sense of humor. It's like to go in every time, literally replacing Mike Stoddard, never missed a beat.
Didn't Glenn do a lot of that, too? Glenn was all over
Glenn
the
would
place.
have
Glenn,
yeah.
and
Glenn was
Glenn
all over
it.
Vistica,
A lot, yeah.
literally, he established himself as sports guy Glenn.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing all the sports reports, then he eventually got a shot doing some day work.
Yeah,
And
but so Glenn would be like morning, afternoon,
Oh, yeah,
lunch,
you
3
yeah.
o'clock in the morning. There's Glenn. Hey, I'll call him up.
that's what we did. I mean, that's a great time in our lives. I don't think we could ever relive it, but thank God we did.
Never say never.
I wouldn't do a thing differently.
I don't think I would either.
What do we got? How much time we got left and how much talking we got left
I
here?
think we've come up on
I
that
think we've
hour
blown
point, have we
past
not?
it, yeah.
So get ready to wrap up this puppy, why don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, Sean, do your stuff, man.
Well, what am I wrapping up? I just want to let people know Alt Rock Radio's around. You can tune in. So altrockradio.com. You can spell it almost any way you'd like because I register a bunch of different domains.
Very cool.
And you wonder why I said easy.
But Alt Rock Radio, ALTROK Radio, or ALTROCK Radio. I don't care.
There you go.
So that's 7x24 music on 90.5 The Night. You can hear me on Friday nights at 11 o'clock.
Very cool.
Doing the thing.
And you see the logo there on your screen. Good stuff. Just launched my podcast recently, The A Game with Rob Akampora. My first guest was actually Ming Chin from Comic Book Man. We had Brian O'Halloran from Clerks stopping in, which was a great surprise. Had a bit of a lull the last couple of weeks. We're getting a couple things going here. Yes, Matt Pinfield will be on with me. We have not figured out the day and time yet because he is coming back to Jersey in April. We're deciding, do we want to tape something? Do we want to do something? I think we're going to do something just via video chat, and we'll do it that way.
That phone thing.
Yeah, that phone thing, but we'll have it up on the big screen here, and everybody can see it, and we'll do a real good sit-down. Matt will be willing to talk about everything, and got some really cool guests coming up. We're going to do a little All My Children reunion because about 3 of the key people over the last several years of the soap opera, one being the director, 2 of the actors who are living in the area, so I want to get into that. And props to Telegraph Hill Records. They're going to be stopping by. They've got a great roster of talent, including Clarence Clements' son, who's really getting a name for himself. So. And yes, we've managed to waive the licensing and stuff, so we'll play some videos, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and Christian, do you have anything you want to talk about? No?
I think I'm good.
CJ.
Sitting in on your first episode.
And CJ Cullen, who's been sitting here
Promo, what do you
watching
got,
it.
CJ?
Hang
Tell
on to
everyone
your
what's going
shorts.
on.
We'll be back soon. By the way, the I should mention for CJ, the
Come here, come-
film
we-
festival
we
is
can
coming
see
up in
you.
April.
There you go.
And the films
Yes.
have been narrowed down to the last, how many now?
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
It's gonna be out soon. It has to be out soon, or they're gonna kill us. All the filmmakers be like, "What?" Yeah. So on March 24th, we have a show. We're gonna have a live band in the studio over in Eatontown. We'll be fine. They're a cover band. They're really cool. The band, our band teacher at North is in the band and everything.
Oh, that would be fun.
All right.
So
Very
it'll
cool.
be a lot of fun. So it's our first live band on the show.
Very cool.
Terrific.
Anything else you got?
That's it.
Quick mention to a shared universe. If you want to know about them, you go to their website.
I'm hungry.
shareduniverse.com. If you ever thought about getting into the podcasting world, contact them. Ming and Mike have always a spot for you. There's some other great podcasts. You can find out all about them on the website.
Can I talk now?
You may.
Are you gonna,
No. I'm just giving the closing credits. You're the host. Take
Oh,
over.
closing credits. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you're that guy before that guy.
Right, exactly.
Drew,
Okay.
speak.
Speak. I will speak. Happy birthday once again to Scott Stamper at the Saint. Appreciate that you let us do what we do at your place.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Thank all the DJs from Halo Degeneration. I appreciate all the guys I met from Hang On to Your Shorts or whatever I called it earlier. You stole my shorts.
You stole my shorts. Which will be a podcast coming soon, by the way.
Nobody ever gets it right.
Too many similar things. Thank you to Ming and Christian and everyone at Shared Universe. So I want to say hello to my children, Kira, Delilah, Drew, and Benjamin. And hopefully I can see everyone out on Friday. Just come by and say hello. You don't have to stay all night. Just, we're from 7 o'clock on, roughly. 7 o'clock till 2 o'clock. Come by. Ask us. We do take requests. We're not mean. We're nice. We will play anything that's good or danceable, shall we say? Shall we say that? Because you're not going to throw Genesis in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to do that one time. Bad request night. The worst request you've gotten on any given night.
If Barbie Girl by Aqua shows up, I'm leaving. Just so you know.
They'll dance to it.
I
They'll dance
know.
to Bop too by Hanson.
Yeah, but I'm gonna leave if Barbie Girl shows up because
Yes.
that is the ultimately worst request I could possibly. And you're gonna request it. It figures. Okay. That's the Saint Main Street, Asbury Park this Friday night. Be there.
We good? Have a wonderful night. Good night.